Hey, what's going on, everybody? So happy Thursday. I'm on my lunch break here. I figured I'd go back to the river here where I saw the fish jump in and have lunch. But I wanted to make a quick video on how I got into fly fishing, especially spey fly fishing. I thought it'd be a fun video. Um, so yeah, back in 2005, 2008, I believe it was, I moved to Sacramento. My home river at that time was the American River. And that's honestly where I learned a lot of fly fishing stuff. That's starting to come back to me. This is, like I said, my first year back into fly fishing consistently. But yeah, my dad introduced me. Let me back up. My dad introduced me to fly fishing when I was about 10 or 12 years old, on a creek. And I was a kid going, this is such a narrow river. It's very shallow. I can't see the fish. Being how shallow there is, there must not be any fish here. But my dad and his buddy caught fish. So lo and behold, fast forward now, 2005, 2008, moved back out to Sacramento. And I met a buddy of mine who taught me how to fish this creek. And this creek had like 20 plus inch trout in there. It was crazy, amazing. Before my dad passed away, I was able to get him out there and he saw me catch one of these fish. It was just a great father-son story. Then the local fly shop I was at, they had like an opening day barbecue type of thing, and it said, spey casting lessons. I was like, man, I've always wanted to learn about this spey casting thing. It looks really cool. I remember seeing this Asian guy on the American River, and he was casting across the river, and I was like, who's that guy? And I think people told me it was Ed Ward before I even knew who the guy was. Again, if I'm wrong on that, I apologize 100%, but I swear that's the name they said. But anyways, fly shop, eating there, and this gentleman walks up to me and he says, "Hi, how are you? My name's Bill Lowe." And I was like, "Oh, hi, my name's Paul Watson." I was just a young punk kid, 25, 26 years old, but I was always very respectful. And I asked him, again, I was very timid at that time when it came to fly fishing, knew nothing about it. I was just learning, especially spey. I was like, what is spray? What, spey? Okay. And I asked him, I said, hey, do you know anything about this spey casting thing? And he goes, oh yeah. He goes, I'm one of the instructors. I go, oh, okay, cool. And I go, where does everybody meet? He goes, oh, well, everybody that's going to do it's going down to the river. The river, maybe it was like a couple streets over, and then you could see almost the river from the shop there. And I said, oh, okay, great. Well, do I need to sign up for anything? Or, how does this work? He says, no, we're going to go down in my car, and, we're going to go to the river there. I go, okay. I go, does it cost anything? Because I really can't afford this. And they were like, no, it's free, no charge. I was like, okay, great. So lo and behold, nobody else showed up, and Bill's like, hey, why don't we just go down to the river and I'll teach you a couple things. And I was like, are you sure? I'm very respectful of his time. And he's like, no, it's fine. He's like, this is what I love to do. He's a fishing guide on the river. And we get down there and he starts showing me this spey casting stuff. And I just remember, I was like, whoa, this is so cool. Looks so effortless, and this would be great. Big rivers, get the line out there better. Because I was trying to learn redirectional cast with the 5-weight before they had like all the spey setups for single hand rod. And I caught onto it very quickly. And Bill is a excellent teacher. Just very soft spoken, great energy. And so at the end of the thing, he says to me, he says, hey, he goes, why don't you hang on to this rod? And I'm like, what do you mean, hang on to the rod? Like, I understand what that means, hang on to it, but what do you mean? He goes, I want you to hang on to it for the week. And I start looking at this rod like, oh, what? And he goes, yeah. He goes, I know you picked up on this real quickly. I can tell you really enjoy this and you're passionate about it. He said, I want you to hang on to this rod and reel. I want you to fish it and have fun with it. Now, at this time, the American River was closed for salmon, but it was in the middle of a salmon run with the steelhead, so it was illegal to even pull a salmon out of the water. There was rumors of Fish and Game saw you pull a salmon out, they were gonna find you right there. So, you know, I tell Bill, I'm like, you know, Bill, I really appreciate this, but I can't afford this. You know, if something happens, you know, I'm gonna be, you know, held responsible for it because I want to do the right thing. He said, don't worry about it. He said, if something happens to it, don't you worry about it. Just go out and have fun with it. And at this time, this was a Sage, like 8 weight. You know, I think it was at the time their ZX line, or the model. It was, you know, the whole setup was probably $1,000 or $1,500, if not more. You know, and I was like, wow. And I go, well, thank you so much. So we go out, we fish it. My buddy Brian and I caught a couple of salmon. Again, we just had to unhook them right there in the water. But, you know, I'm forever grateful and thankful for that, because, you know, maybe I would have gotten into Spey casting, but because of Bill and his generosity and just a great heart that he has and his trustworthiness, it probably would have taken me longer to get into it, but I'm so thankful and grateful for that. And you know, I found out probably about a few months ago that he passed away. I don't know when, but I'm just, you know, forever thankful and grateful for somebody like that extending their hand out. You know, and that's why I get so passionate about fly fishing, spey fishing, whatever it is. When I see somebody out on the river, especially somebody spaying, and they're having a challenge, you know, again, I don't want to overstep my boundaries and make anybody uncomfortable and infringe on them, but, you know, I'll ask them, you know, in not a direct way, hey, can I help you? But, you know, after building some rapport or something, and, you know, show them a thing or two. And, you know, that's my passion there. My passion is to help other people get into the fly fishing world, spey world, fishing world in general, but especially spey, because I know what it's like just trying to get into it. You have no clue what you're doing. Maybe other people do, but I had no clue. And I just want to be able to pass that knowledge on to other people. And that's just where my passion and my joy and my heart comes from. You know, I'm very blessed to have people that have poured some information and knowledge into me also. So that's kind of my fishing story there. You know, I'm sure we all have a good fishing story. Leave a comment in the section below. You know, maybe just a quick snapshot of how you got into fishing. I would love to hear about that.